So Kennedy Muredi has decided to stay with me a little bit longer to give you a different perspective of all the political stories we are following up for you, including the ODM nominations in Busia. But I'm also joined by Bernard Mwinzi, he's an editor with the Daily Nation. And this is concerning the pictures that I want to bring up on your screen right now. It's a propaganda machine happening in Busia where Paul Otuoma, who's a Funyula member of parliament, there were allegations that he's defected to Jubilee. One of the headlines that you're seeing there is alleged to be the Daily Nation, and that's exactly why Bernard is here. And like I mentioned earlier on, that is not our title, but it's better if you hear it from, quote, the horse's mouth. Bernard, was that us, and what kind of an impact does that have on our brand name?
No, that was definitely not us. We head to the market with a totally different headline. Our headline for the Western editions read, Raila Party Under Fire in NASA Cracks. While what we have there is Otuoma defects to Jubilee. So that's definitely not a Daily Nation headline for today's editions.
Even if that was true, would it be one of the main headlines?
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be, and for obvious reasons. While a defection is big news, it's not the kind of news that you want, particularly in this type of an environment, you want to put on page one. Yeah. And then again, the approach will be different. Did we talk to Otuoma? No. Otuoma has himself said that there has been a lot of smear campaigning in this season of electioneering. And this is one of the ways probably that his detractors are fighting him. Yeah. But for us, the biggest concern is the kind of hurt that this kind of approach to politicking is going to our brand. Yeah. Because while this is imitation, we are not flattered by it. We are not. We are not. Yeah.
And how does this affect the brand name per se in terms of what people think and the perception of the people on the ground?
I think the average Daily Nation reader, you know, if you are a regular consumer of Daily Nation journalism, you can see this as, you know, from far, you know that this is not the Daily Nation journalism. But our biggest concern is, what about those people who do not read the Daily Nation and probably wanted to read it today? Can they see this from the start as a fake story? Will they be able to distinguish genuine Daily Nation journalism from this kind of journalism? Because it isn't our brand. So for the, you know, the person who's not well versed with nation journalism, who does not understand our font styles, who does not understand how our headlines look like, or how they read like, or how we craft our headlines, you know, there's a problem there. And in situations where media literacy levels are not, you know, as high as expected, then this will be a major problem.
Are we prepared for this sort of thing going into the elections? Is it something we've foreseen, and are we ready for it?
I think this is just a start.
Yeah.
It has been, you know, simmering there in the underground for quite some time. But fortunately, or let me say unfortunately, it has been, you know, restricted to the social media and all that. Okay. Yeah, so Facebook, fake news, Twitter, fake news and all that. The concern is when that fake news is transplanted to mainstream media, and particularly when it is designed to hurt not just the image of a contestant, but also the brand image of a mass circulation newspaper like the Daily Nation.
Yeah. But even then, we've seen certain times the Daily Nation having different headlines for different regions. Yeah. And maybe that's one of the reasons. What is the reason behind that to begin with?
It's basic news values.
Yeah.
We write for different masses. We write for different audiences, and it's all about localizing news. Readers want news that they can easily associate with, news that is closer to them. Okay. So proximity plays a major role in deciding, you know, what headline you are going to take here. If we have news that has national relevance, definitely we'll go with one massive headline throughout. Yeah. But when we have news that, for instance, will be attractive to our readers in Mombasa, but might not be attractive to our readers in Kisumu, or our readers in Nairobi, or our readers in Rift Valley, will not go with that kind of news. Sometimes we do as many as 6 editions for the different regions. Now, it doesn't mean that the news that we cover, we put on page 1 for cost, is not circulated in Rift Valley, for instance, or in Nairobi. It is circulated. It is only that how we project that news is different for the different regions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no cause of alarm for anyone?
No cause for alarm for that. It's basic journalism. It's done in the major media consumption markets. It's done in the US. It's done in Europe. Yeah. It's done in South Africa. It's done in Egypt. So it's normal news distribution techniques.
Before I let you go, and I know you have other businesses to handle during the day, but so for an ordinary reader, what should they look out for? Because as we go into the campaign period, we might see people using the Daily Nation. Wow, how do they tell this is the legit Daily Nation, this one is not?
I think newspapers are set apart by various things. The first thing is the masthead. Yeah, the masthead. We do not play with this because this is our, it's what we sell. It's what sets us apart from the rest. Yeah. Then the headline we use specific fonts. For us, we use Zocalo. A lot of people might not understand the font families, but if you look at the kind of fonts that are used in the fake news that are distributed online, and what we have here, the font style is totally different. Then again, we do not use, we do not initialize caps and all that in our headlines. Yeah, we just do this. The particular words are not as squeezed or spaced out as they are in some publications. Yeah. That's the other thing. Then the general layout. Yeah, there is a disciplined approach to everything that we do. You will never see, for instance, as I have seen in some situations, where you have 3 decks of headlines, a 3-deck headline. You never see that. Okay. That goes all the way to the end. You never see that. You will never see, for instance, we putting all these kickers, a kicker here, and pointers all over the place. There is a disciplined approach to the design of the Daily Nation's page 1. All right.